Yes, certainly, and I'll tell you what, it's very cold right now. Certainly not as bad as it's going to be. Snow continuing to come down, not expected to stop until later this afternoon, early evening, around the evening commute. There is a state of emergency here in the city of New York. There is also a state of emergency in the state of New York right now. Mayor de Blasio declared that not all that long ago for the city, and Governor Cuomo declared that for the state not all that long ago as well. Right now, a difficult go for some people. In fact, some people right behind us. You can see there is a broken down car right in the middle of 6th Avenue right now. There's a Toyota Camry right back there, completely broken down in one of the main lanes of travel. That's no good. And that's a very visible example of why they're saying if you don't need to go out, you should stay in. Driving is the absolute last thing you want to do right now. In fact, travel is virtually impossible. At this point, JFK, a major Northeast airport here in New York City, completely shut down. Virtually all flights to and from LaGuardia canceled. In fact, more than 2/3 of all flights in and out of this part of the country have been canceled. So if you are flying, if you are traveling, if you're thinking you're going to get here, or if you're thinking you're going to get away from here, I've got some bad news for you. You likely are not going to be doing that today. Some of the people we've spoken with along 6th Avenue here today have told us their flights have all been canceled until at the earliest Saturday. So make sure you're planning accordingly. Travel is basically impossible at this point, and it's going to stay that way. And we can only believe that it's going to continue that way, not just because of the snow. The snow's going to stop, but we're talking about extraordinarily cold temperatures coming up over the next 72 hours. In fact, Sunday morning when New Yorkers wake up, they could be feeling air temperatures, not wind chill temperatures, but air temperatures at -1 or -2. So make sure you're planning for that. That's a very, very harsh, very dire situation. In fact, Mayor de Blasio said in a media conference a few moments ago that if your heat is off in this city, you need to contact the city. They're going to come repair it, and then they're going to bill your landlord. That's how dire the situation is here. So just make sure you're driving for conditions if you absolutely have to go out. But if you don't need to go out, absolutely don't do that, because it really is a very bad situation. Of course, here in New York City, though, we're talking about a lot of tourists, and that's why you look behind me here, and you can see cars, you can see traffic, but you can also see people walking all over the place. And in fact, here's a good opportunity to see the car that's broken down, because there are no cars around it. You see it over there, that Toyota Camry? Yeah, that's not a good place to break down. I don't care what day of the week it is, and I don't care what weather situation it is. Breaking down in the middle of 6th Avenue is a bad idea. Yeah, you can see New York City. Take a look right now. Radio City Music Hall down the street from us. We can actually see the sign now. And let's send it up to Kelly O'Hara right now in Boston, Massachusetts. Kelly, looks like we have a little bit, a baby reprieve here on 6th Avenue, because I can actually see Radio City. How are things where you are?
Justin, I wish we were getting a little reprieve right now, because if I was getting a reprieve right now, I'd be getting one of those famous Grace Papaya hot dogs. That's what I'd be doing right now on 6th Avenue. We are here on Atlantic Avenue on the financial district just off of the Boston Harbor. And let me tell you, there's no reprieve here at all for us. The wind is really howling, and it's just picking up in its speed and its intensity. It's hovering around 35 miles an hour, but it feels like a whole lot more. Nearly 5 inches have fallen of snow from the ground, and you can just see right here, this is all the snow, this light fluffy stuff right here that has fallen the last couple of hours. But you can see the snow just keeps on falling. Right now, Atlantic Avenue, a very, very busy roadway outside of the financial district. It's practically a ghost town. The only people going up and down this road are the guys plowing, and of course these handsome gentlemen right here shoveling. Give a wave back home. All right, now we are here again outside of the financial district, and normally that these buildings, there are so many buildings here, it is just white out conditions. You can barely see these towers. Just look at that intense snow and wind just blowing down right here. Now, as for schools canceled and everything else canceled and shut down, no one's getting in and out of the airport except for those international flights coming in. Subways, everything's down to a reduced service along with transit. So if you don't have to be out, don't go out at all. As Jim Cantori, as Mike Sadell, as Justin has been showing you down in New York, you don't want to go out. But Jim, I don't know if you can hear me or not. How are conditions up there in Rockport? I know that the water was really starting to shoot up over the harbor, and you were moving around quickly.
Yeah, we got out of harm's way, okay? We were on the other side, next to the yacht club. You can see this is a low point between the two bay areas. I mean, guys, I apologize for the shot because we're going to have to wipe the lens constantly. We essentially have white mud falling from the sky right now, and it's going to stick to everything. It's 32 degrees, and it is a very wet snow, much different than what Seidel's got, obviously, where he is. So you can see what we're talking about with this LeBaron. The water coming in, don't really know what that guy's doing. Maybe go check on the yacht club, I'm not sure. But you can see how the water is just kind of breaking under there. And here's the deal. Even if we don't get any higher with the water, the fact that you've got water coming up under there and spraying the carriage and the electronics, it is salt water, okay? It is salt water at that. So it's a very bad thing. It's a very bad thing. Go ahead and take a wipe slide. Let's turn around the other way and show everybody what's going on. So, guys, we'll keep an eye on that car and sort this parking lot, but this is exactly why we moved our crew, get everybody out of harm's way. I'm going to try and keep my cameraman, Matt Safer, from basically putting the camera into the snow because it pretty much goes, white in a matter of seconds. As a matter of fact, even I have to go like this to my goggles here. See, it's sticking immediately. It's literally like if you ever went to a nursery or a place that they flocked Christmas trees, that's exactly what this is like. We are getting flocked, okay, with heavy wet snow. All right, let's talk about this. Coming out to the street in beautiful Rockport here. I want to show you guys this because we've been showing you the water so much. I want to show you how the snow is blowing around. I mean, the winds are still 50, 60 miles an hour here. It's absolutely cranking. Plows are out and about. Obviously, the bigger plows as well. They have been pretty much non-stop. But you can see how we put our vehicles up here, okay? We brought our vehicles up here. Satellite trucks off in the distance. I appreciate Adam because he has left his IFB source on so I can actually talk back and forth to the Weather Channel. Even though I could use my cell phone, I don't want to bring it out and get wrecked in this heavy wet snow. But you can see the trees blowing around. It's just whipping here down through the downtown area. The sidewalk is just coated. You can barely see that person coming down the street. I mean, look at that. Then behind that, some headlights as cars are making their ways down. But, all in all, the roads are in pretty decent shape here, okay, because they've been scraping constantly. They've been able to keep up with the snowfall rates. They know how hard and how intense it can snow here. So, they have enough plows on hand, whether it's hired guns or the, obviously what's been hired by the public to keep the snow off the streets. And so that's a great thing because you know what? When you get the snow off the streets and you don't allow it to freeze afterward, then it's a much better time of getting, life back in order after the storm goes through. And it's not going to be an easy order. I'm going to tell you that right now because we're talking about the chances of getting his, record-setting cold in New England. So all of this is going to be freezing up. All of this. Good news is cars are still in the parking lot, but waves and salt water